Hello and welcome to the first ever We Still Believe podcast. Would we call it a podcast, Josh? I think we can call it a podcast. A vlog, yeah.
Yeah.
As some of you may have heard, we are on Black Country Extra at 2:00 and we do our sports show on there. But we thought we'd do something a little bit different and get some faces to names to the voices. So, so obviously, Josh, you watched it yesterday, the England Lionesses game.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that close or that good a game. I knew Nigeria were a respectable opponent, but I didn't think it would be as nerve-wracking as England made it.
No, definitely, and it was it was a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be as well. I mean, Nigeria, what are they, 40th in the world? And they didn't play like that, and they haven't played like that for the whole tournament, really, have they?
No, and quite frankly, we should be sitting here today, and they should be in the quarterfinals. They were far superior team, really, and they had the better of the chances. However, England did a professional job. I mean, when you play these tournaments and you win these tournaments, it's very rare that you're going to play 7 perfect games over the whole month and a half, 2 months. You're going to have a game that you've got to just slog through, and hopefully that was England's slog through match, and it'll be plain sailing going forward, touch wood.
Yeah, so obviously Colombia confirmed it today, didn't they, that they're going to be the opponents on, is it Saturday?
Saturday, 11:30 English time. We've got Colombia. Did you watch it this morning?
I didn't know. I've been at work, so I haven't been able to watch it. Good game?
Thankfully, yeah, I have a nice 6 weeks off, so what's that one? Colombia were good. They looked, how do I put this? Maybe the more professional outfit compared to Jamaica. Jamaica were good and had quite a few chances, but they were just hot passion and flair, whereas Colombia seemed to have a structure to them. They were feisty. They didn't mind putting their elbows about. And it was Caicedo for Colombia who looked really, really good in the middle of the parks. At England will have to be wary of that. However, Savina Wiegman and the coaching staff will have watched that this morning. They've had an extra 24 hours rest. Colombia it's the first time in a quarterfinal of a World Cup for them. So it is a new, kind of venture for them. I expect England to be considerably better on Saturday.
There's going to be a big shake-up happen, isn't there?
Yeah, you can't play like that twice.
No,
and if you do, well, you don't deserve to go through to a semi-final. England made a couple of changes because they brought back in Kira Walsh, didn't they? Yesterday, who looked solid, but then there was a couple of times there was a possible injury scare with her again, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But is there any changes you'd make for the weekend?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously, the controversy about Lauren James has happened. We don't know how long she's going to be out for. Bit of a head loss moment.
The news on that today is the fact that she's released an apology, isn't she?
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter, wasn't it?
Yeah, through the FA and on Twitter, on various social medias. I mean, I like how she said it. She basically said, I'm young, I love playing for England, I made a mistake, I'm sorry. I respect that. But I also think it's a bit of collateral damage by the FA and the England team, isn't it? Because it hasn't yet gone to the tribunal to decide whether it's 2 or 3 game ban. So it's almost like they're playing the I'm sorry card early, hoping she could make it potentially further down the line in the tournament. But,
well, that's it. Yeah, if she can grovel a bit, hopefully it gets a 2-game ban and she can get into the final if we get there.
What did you make of it?
It was just a bit of a. I don't know why it always seems to be with England as well, doesn't it? These head loss moments, these stamps.
Yeah.
It was totally unnecessary as well, wasn't it? I think that was the other piece that sort of killed it. It literally was. I mean, the foul had happened. She got up and you're just thinking, what are you doing there? But like you say, young.
It really came out of the blue for me. Yeah, watching it, it shocked me because it was just so uncharacteristic and just random at the end of the game when we were looking to change momentum. It was frustration, though, wasn't it, from a young girl who. She was the player of the tournament for the last 2 games and the whole world was talking about her. And then suddenly she'd been marked out of that game and struggled to get any kind of ball at feet.
Well, she hadn't dribbled past her at all, had she, that game, really? We couldn't utilise her at all in that game. And I suppose when you look at it, head loss and it's done now sort of thing, you've got to move on. But the other side of it is as well is, only after the China game, we'll be talking about how we've got to sort of wrap round her because she's a young sort of player, and all this sort of scoring goals on the World Cup stage is going to get straight to your head, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit
And you're going to
of
have to
crazy.
learn to deal with not having much ball, because the better player you are, the more likely teams are going to do a job on you.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone wants to
know
beat
who
us.
Lauren James is now. They're not going to let you in onto your right foot and then curl it in, are they?
Yeah,
So
and they're
you're
going
going to
to.
have to learn to deal with it.
Everyone's watching that game closely that we played against China, and planning and how they're going to stop us. And she's obviously a key part of that. So definitely got to her head.
At the end of the game, Savina was interviewed, and she's so good. She's similar to Gareth Southgate in the way that she's just so good with how she words things and perfectly hits a note, because the reporter was going down the line of, she's let down her country, she won't be playing the rest of the tournament, it's a bad decision. And Savina went, she's young, she made a reckless decision. We make reckless decisions when we're young and we're getting frustrated in games. It happens, we move on. And I just think, how perfect is that? Because I'm sure Lauren James thought Serena was going to walk in the change room and absolutely belittle her. But you've got to remember, this girl's going to be playing for England for the next 10, 11, 12 years. Yeah. You don't want to kill her now. You don't want to kill her career and kill her personality and her charisma and everything now. You want to respect her and say, you've made a mistake, you'll learn from it. And I suppose the example would be Rooney, wasn't it, back in the day, and Beckham.
Yeah.
They were young players that made silly mistakes in World Cups, and their careers didn't turn out too bad.
And you've still got to pick them, You can't just because they're getting a bit, on there making one mistake. You still got to pick these players, like you say, in future tournaments. And she's definitely a key part in that.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well that I was thinking of is that Chloe Kelly penalty. That's got to have been a bit nervy standing over that.
Yeah, but she didn't look it, does she?
No, she didn't.
Chloe Kelly never looks nervy. I mean, she's the goal scoring hero of the final last year, and then to hop, skip, and a jump and a kick in that penalty was unbelievable confidence.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to her.
That's the England squad. Is just this immense confidence and ability. I genuinely think they've had this installed from them by Serena, that it's the fear of missing doesn't matter. It's about the conviction and the confidence of taking that penalty. I genuinely don't think the England players fear missing. That's why they have such confidence. I mean, you look at some of those penalties, like Rachel Daly's, it was smashed into that top corner.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. What changes would you make on Saturday?
I really don't know. I mean, I liked Greenwood on there as well. She played really well, didn't she, at the back? I like the back three as well. I think that's working well. Like I say, you got Lauren James there that needs to be replaced. I mean, who'd you put in for her, really?
I suppose you bring in a Chloe Kelly and change it into a front three rather than like a Lauren James was playing in the hole as such. But
yeah,
I mean, I trust Savina in whatever 11 she puts out there. I would make some changes because I thought we looked a bit leggy. I thought, even in 90 minutes, I just thought we looked a bit slow, and she wasn't quick enough to make her substitutions. She normally always makes them around the hour mark, but we held off. The momentum going against us. I think she should have been quicker to react to that. So I would like to see a couple of
something like his 88th minute, wasn't it, the first one, and then the other two were in the 100th minutes. So
it was almost like she was trying to win it in extra time, but then the red card just totally changed that plan.
Well, of course, yeah. You need to make those decisions before that red card sort of comes in, doesn't it?
I would make a couple of changes and just get some legs in there. I'd like to see Chloe Kelly starting. She started the first game. I'd like to see her starting this one because she seems to have a lot of confidence flowing for her right now. But in Serena, we trust, and we know it's going to be difficult opponents. And if she changes the 11 slightly, it'll be for a reason, probably to stop Casado in the middle of the park and also to combat their physicality. I'm just hoping for a good game, and I hope it's 90 minutes so we don't have two very long games.
Yeah, well, that's it, because you want to avoid penalties again. You don't want to be plotting along, like you say, it's time to build now, get a bit of confidence back in them.
Because then we've potentially got a France or Australia in the semi-finals, and France have won 4-0 today, and they looked quite superior after struggling with Jamaica drawing 0-0 at the beginning of the tournament. They're starting to click on now with their manager, who was also Saudi Arabia's manager in the World Cup at Christmas, which is pretty mad. 2 World Cups in a year.
Look at you bashing the stats out already.
I know, right? And then Australia are another potential semi-final opponent, and it was on the BBC. I can't remember who it was on the radio the other night that said, as soon as a host nation starts to click, you've got to worry because they've just got that surge of energy. I mean, Sam Kerr came on yesterday for Australia, the star striker, probably the best striker in the world. I'd worry about playing Australia in the semi-final because their motivation is just far greater than anything because you're playing in your own country. But
every stadium's going to be full of your fans as well, in it. That always helps.
That's it, yeah.
Although there's quite a good turnout for England yesterday.
There seems to be in every game. I don't know whether it's a vast proportion of expats or that there's quite a few fans, WSL fans, that have gone over. But
yeah,
I do believe in us, and I think momentum will take us forward. I just hope these squeaky performances are gone because in quarterfinals, semis, finals, you've got to be 100%.
That pressure almost doubles, doesn't it? Now, really, to go into the next leg. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Colombia, I mean, hopefully, like you say, they're going to come out a bit attacking as well, which sometimes benefits you, doesn't it? When they come at you a bit more. I mean, obviously Nigeria were doing that in spells, but if they're going to be playing the free flowing, all out attack football, never been this far into a competition, always sort of takes the pressure off that team, doesn't it?
Well, that's what you're saying. And a lot of people are like, well, England have got an easy route now. They've got Nigeria, then Colombia, who haven't been there before. It's Colombia's first ever quarter, Nigeria's first ever round 16. But actually, that makes it worse because it means they've got everything and nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is better playing teams that have been there and done it before because they're more settled. Because you saw the other day the emotion the Nigerians had. It was their World Cup final.
Yeah, it's quite sad to see at the end. You know, the interviews. There's a few tears and always weren't there.
Yeah. Well, how lovely was that when the keeper missed the final penalty? Chloe Kelly's went in, and then Chloe Kelly and a couple of the England players went over and consoled the Nigerian keeper, which I just thought was just class personified.
Well, both keepers played well in the game, really, didn't they? It wasn't like I know it was 0-0, but it wasn't like the game didn't have any chances. I mean, there was a great save.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple of great saves made. So yeah, okay.
Rock on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday we might do another one of these then if it goes successful.
Yeah. Depends what kind of use we get online, Tom.
Yeah. Sound. Make sure everybody, if you do enjoy it, to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be diving deeply into it on Sunday on the Black Country Extra site, won't we?
Yeah.
You have to get Ball and Smudge involved in that, though.
Yeah, 2 o'clock on a Sunday. Right, see you then, mate.
All right then, mate. Enjoy Stockport.